Hey there, this is Shavanu with Mac Automation Tips. Hey, I'm back with another video about one of my favorite applications, Amazing Marvin, and it's recently released its newest version 1.69, and it includes several new strategies and features that I definitely want to share with you. So stick around and check it out. If you know my channel, you've been to my channel several times, you know that I am a big fan of Amazing Marvin. I've done several videos on it, and it's one of my favorite because it has solved my task management, project management problems and challenges, right? And I've used several applications, task management applications over the last 10 years. And this one right here, I would debate anyone that it is the best one for personal task and project management. So what I want to do is show you some of the newest strategies inside Amazing Marvin and explain to you why they might be helpful for new and existing users. So let's check it out. So basically this is my layout of Amazing Marvin, and I have a video about the layout and why I have certain, strategies and elements on this. I won't go into detail about that. I'll try to bookmark that video into detail. But basically, we have some linked tasks up here. You have your most important projects in this section here, and you don't see all of them because I'm using a filtered view of my Amazing Marvin, so that we'll just kind of focus on things that I want you to see. So, and then you also have your custom boxes here, and I forget what those are called, but custom squares, and they can link you to different things inside of Marvin. So like, here's a link to to my planned month here. This is a link to the strategies, which you'll see me link to those in a second. Just link to my goals, and also here, also in my goals here, they're also top of mind. So these goals stay up here, and I can click on those and adjust those. Same thing with the projects; they stay top of mind. So which is really unique about Amazing Marvin is that it keeps things top of mind so that you don't forget them. And then you can also, there's another feature here, you can add, it's another way to add tasks to Amazing, in your master list or what have you. You can add them here or quickly add them to your day view. And then here's all the scheduled tasks right here. And then there's a little button over here. I'm not sure if you can see that really well, but this one, you can show and hide things in here. So you can kind of show the master list there if you want. You can show the little notebook they have there. You can show the little matrix strategy if you want to use that. So you can go down here and just kind of hide and show different things there. So, but what I'm going to do with this video here is go over the newest strategies in 1.69. Now, the 1.69 is, as of this recording, is only available in the web version of Amazing Marvin. It's not, I don't think it's in the desktop yet, but I'm pretty sure that it will be there soon. So let's go here and open the strategies. Now, strategies pretty much can be opened with, you can add a custom link like I just did right here, or you can press the key S and that'll get you to it as well. So one of the things that they've done here is they set up they kind of categorized, if you will, all the different strategies there. And you see there's several dozens of these strategies in there, and you can go down and you can see all the ones they have. And you really want to become very familiar with these strategies as much as possible. Christina, one of the developers, has done a great job of, explaining these strategies with videos and descriptions. And so you can click on any one of them and get the information about it. You can also go to their documentation, which is also really well done. So you can see all those, and they're broken up into the core, the helpers, planning time, those kind of things. And then you can also filter the ones that you have on, and you can also filter the ones that you have off. Okay, and you see these are the ones that I have off here, and I just, they definitely don't really need them right now. But sometimes I kind of go back and take a look at them to see if there's something I want to use. And then you have the new ones here, but there's also one called favorites. And you can do, what you can do is you hover your button over here and you can add a strategy to the favorites there. And one of the reasons why you might want to do that is to say that you're kind of testing out different strategies and learning them. This is a quick way to get back to them really quickly. You know, you can always do search here to find a strategy, but this is a quick way to do this. And this is a new feature inside 1.69. So we're going to go to our some of the newest strategies here. It looks to be like about I don't know, 9 of them or something like that in here. Maybe, let's see, 6, yeah, about 9, 10 of those. And so nice ones, and some of them are not too complicated. I'm going to kind of go into the ones that, we'll start off with the ones that are a little more simple and then go to the ones that are a little more complicated. So let's go to the bottom here. This is called task emojis. And basically what it does is it adds an emoji to a task after you type the title. So let me show you how that looks here. Well, you can take a look at it here and go open this up. And it just here is pretty simple. So you can also choose to have it add emojis to project titles and also only show emojis on newly created items, not existing ones. So you can have that setting is there. So let's go back over here. And I hope you can see this here, but like in this particular task, you can see that order groceries, it has like a little grocery cart there. I didn't add that. It added it automatically after I typed the title there. So that's how I did that. The same one about producing the video about Marvin, it added a little camera there. So they're not, really extrusive or anything like that. They're very subtle. They're just something to kind of help you to identify your task like quicker, right? And by the way, before I move away, you notice I have like this title here has a little kind of stylized title. One thing you can do here is there's a little button here, one of the hover buttons you can add. It's called Set Text Style. Click on that and you can stylize a task title using one of these style formats right here. So really nice, something just to kind of add to it. All right, so that's one thing. Now, the next one is adding a button to the left of a task. And this is right here is called, and what you can do is you can add a button to perform a certain type of action. And so the action that I have it set for is to set duration, because a lot of times I forget I forget to add a duration there and I want to be able to do it quickly, right? And it's similar to some of these other action buttons here as well. Now, all these other action buttons you can do to take an action on a task. So you can set the duration, you can schedule it for today, schedule it for tomorrow, you can schedule a plan this month, you can remove unplanned, you can open the notes to it, you can delete it, you can open it up in the parent category, all kinds of things. And you also can, there's another action button where you can click on it for more actions, okay? And I'm going to show you how that works too. Let's go to that right now. So you can click on this. I'm going to option click on here. And so this is where you can add your hover buttons right in here. Right? And then you can add this little more button right there. And then anything that you add in the more section here will appear in that more section. So that's how you set that up. And so that's another one of the new features in here. Okay, so that's the left, called the left button is the strategy there. So let's go back over here. And then you get to the left button right here. You can click on it. And you'll see there's all kind of actions that you can assign to that one button right there. A lot of them. So really, really great. Something that you kind of do all the time and you want to make sure that you can do it quickly. Okay, so that's one way of looking at it. Show only on hover. Okay, yeah. Or you can just have it, if you cut that off right there. I didn't know that. I'm just now seeing it. You can cut it off and it will just stay there for you, right? So that's pretty cool. All right, so that's the hover. That is the task emojis and the left button there. So let's go to next. Well, these right here, I'm not going to have to show you. Pretty much these are just kind of labels. This is one called urgency, mark a task with urgency level, mark a task that are weighing on your mind, right? Mark a task that has, gives you positive feelings, something you really enjoy doing, and then also mark a task based upon your energy level. These are pretty self-explanatory there. Just click on them and you can just apply them there. And again, you open the key, it gives you a lot of good description here, and also any kind of settings that it needs, you can do that. Pretty self-explanatory there, so I don't want to go too much in detail on that one. All right, so the next one is it's called a bottom drawer, and let's go here. And the bottom drawer, I'm going to show you how it looks in a minute. It's the bottom drawer provides a Kanban board view of your tasks and projects, and you can assign what goes into the bottom drawer when you open it up. So let's go in, let's go back. And the bottom drawer sits right here, okay? So when you see that I open it up here, I can choose to assign what it's going to show. So I'm going to talk about this orbit feature in a minute. Then you can also say, well, I want to put today's task in the orbit, in the bottom drawer. I'm not sure why you would do that since it's already there for your on your day view, but hey, that's fine. And then this also gives you kind of all your I think tasks in your master list, right? So it's a quick way to get to those. It's a little bit too many for me right now, so I don't want to use that for that. But you can go here, and then another one is like tasks that you have planned for this week, next week, this month, or next month. So you can do, say, this month here. This is really great. I can look at those, and then I can choose to, well, right now they're already scheduled, but if I wanted to schedule this one, I can schedule it for the day, right? So whatever you put in that orbit, right, this is the quick way to schedule tasks without having to go into the master list or a category to find them, right? And then you can also do it you can also filter by categories here as well. So, if you want a particular category, you can do that as well. So this is a great way to do that. And I'm kind of still experimenting with my drawer, like, what do I really want to use it for? So kind of experimenting with it. Right now, I'm just kind of using it as orbit. So we'll look at that. All right. So let's go back to the strategy. And so orbit, let's go into that one. Click on that right there. And the orbit basically is another way to filter the filter strategy, filter task, right? And put them in, say, a drawer and access them pretty quickly. So you can, like I want to filter all my due soon tasks or end date tasks, or filter ones that were scheduled, or I want to filter ones that are unscheduled. It says right here, because a little button says keep tasks in orbit when they are unscheduled from a day, prevents them from getting lost. All right, so I need to test that out. I was just learning about that one before I started this video. So you can do that one, or something that's planned this week or planned this month. So that's another thing that automatically goes into my orbit. Or you can kind of go over here and talk about, there's some other settings that you can utilize for your orbit there. To get there, let's see what this one says here. By default, the orbit indicator is hidden for auto-orbited items like schedule and tasks, since their orbit status is implied. Enable this to always show the indicator regardless of how the item entered your orbit. So I haven't tried that yet. So we'll turn that on and see how it goes. But again, you see all the settings here but for your orbit here. And then you can go in and it tells you how you may want it to appear. Keep current and right click menu or hover button, right? Remove from right click button, that kind of thing. So you can do that and access it and open it from there. So again, you notice that what I've done is I have it set in this drawer for right now, but you also can create a link, right, to your orbit items. If I click on here, you see that those orbit items, show up. And again, those orbit items are things that I plan for this month. But I really think I'm going to change that. But anyway, that's one way you can do it. And I think you can also remove an item from an orbit. You can do that. You can do a right click, and these are some of your right click buttons here. And you can just always, you can customize it. But one of the things you want to do is always look for this little cog wheel there. That's a little way to customize any feature inside of Amazing Marvin. So when you see that, that's a way to do that. It's a real quick way to get to that feature rather than having to go search for it. So that's what you can do. All right. So anyway, that's what you can do there. And also, before I go back to strategies, another little feature they have is a notebook. So you can go in here, and this is not an elaborate notebook. It's just a way to kind of create some notes here. You can create some list of notes, and you can do that. And it has a notebook. And I think Amazing Marvin has two different types of notes. It has a daily notes that you can do, or you can have this dedicated notes. And this is a new feature here. I'm not sure why this is laid out this way, where there's no kind of padding in between the side here and this. But anyway, you can do this like adding notes in here. So nice little thing you can do. One thing you might want to do, come here sometimes and just type out a list of tasks that you want to do, and then you can copy those tasks and put them in a project. So you can copy the list, you have one task on each line, and then you can copy it and then put it into a project and just paste it into a project, and it automatically becomes tasks. So that's how you can do that. So let's go back to our strategies again. And so next one we have is kind of, let's go to Braindump real quick. So Braindump here, and again, it explains what this is, right? And go through the settings here. And it also, one of the things you can do when you're looking at a strategy, click on this access button. And this means this is where you say, where I want to click to open this strategy. So you can say, I want to have it access to the skinny bar, sidebar, or bottom menu. And so I'll put on the bottom menu. I don't use these the sidebars anymore. I used to use that a long time ago. But you can do that. And then you have your settings there. There's a description here for how to use these. Lots of good descriptions there. But let me show you how it looks here. So for me here, let's go down here to Braindump. I have it right here in the bottom menu. Okay, so basically what it is, this is just another way to add tasks really quickly. So for example, you can just make some tasks there and add the attributes like, how the duration, what date it's going to be, that kind of thing. And they'll give you the list of the types of attributes that you can type in. So you type it in here, and then you click the add task button right there. So this is really useful for like if you have several tasks that you want to do at one time, and you just do that, or you can add them to a particular section or category inside your master list right here, right? So you don't have to open up the master list. You can just do it here. You're not really concerned necessarily about adding the task to a particular subcategory or anything like that, but you just want to kind of get them written out, sign them if you want to. You don't even necessarily have to have all that, you don't have to, I don't think you have to have sign on the date. You can sign the date later if you want. But again, you decide what kind of attributes you want to add to it, and then you're ready to go. So if it's something that's really great, so if you're just kind of things come to your mind and you want to do it without having to go to the master list, okay? And another one here is called Spotlight. I can go click on this one. And this again, it gives you, here's a video here. She does a really great job of explaining the different strategies in these little short videos. You have the descriptions, and then you have the settings here, and then you have the access here. And so this is, really one of the things that's really useful about this. I know that Amazing Marvin has a lot of features and strategies, but Christina does an excellent job of explaining them and breaking them down. All right, so let's show you what the Spotlight is. I have it down here in the menu bar. Okay, so basically what this does is it's basically saying, hey, you don't quite know what you want to get done today, or you really need to get some focus. You really need a spotlight on a particular task or a project. So you want to just kind of like, it kind of gives you some suggestions for like, yeah, maybe some, maybe you want to focus in on some quick wins, things that happen you can do in less than 15 minutes, or ones that you can do in about an hour, or tasks that you can do in deep work, or you can do a custom task right here, right? Custom session, and decide, hey, I want to focus in on like, 45 minutes of doing this particular, I want to work on marketing for 45 minutes, right? So this is the important thing about this is just, you want to get something done and stop putting it off, right? And then you can also go up here and say the kind of things that you want to appear as possible spotlight, task, right? So maybe your most important projects, you might want to do that, or your orbit, things that you have assigned to your orbit might appear there, or pinned items, or it has an estimate or urgency or a dread. So you decide, like, well, what do I want to appear in this spotlight when I open it? Then you go say, hey, now I want to focus. And this is for people who like really procrastinate a lot of times and don't get certain things done. The spotlight might be very, very useful here. And then, so you have, again, you get to the settings here that way as well. So that cog wheel, always look for that, because that's a quick way to get to anything right here. And you can also build a session by using this button there. So that's your, spotlight. And I don't necessarily need it so much, but I think that if I were the kind of person who procrastinated a lot, then I would definitely be using it. Let's see what else we have. I think that's pretty much it in here, the left button, yep. So that's pretty much it there. And then also you'll see a couple of the newer features in the last one, 1.68. This is really nice. This is called Focus Music. You can assign this to a task. And so when you click, I think you click the timer on the task, then the music starts playing. And I need to use that more often, because sometimes it helps me to, it's a good way to concentrate and say that I only want to spend about, say no more than 45 minutes on there. So it will, go up, the music will play for 45 minutes, and then when it stops, it lets me know, hey, I don't want to spend too much more time on this task or project than assigned. So again, really nice. The music sounds really great, and it's something that I really want to try to do. And then this is also what's called monthly time targets. So you can use this strategy to, basically like say, I want to make sure I do 45 minutes of work on marketing every week, right? And it puts like a little bar up on your day view, and it tells you if you reached your target. So that's another one from the last one. So a lot of good strategies there. Definitely check them out. This is, I think, one of the things about the developers of Amazing Marvin is that what they do is that they study task management, productivity management, and they build this application to reflect all the different types of things different types of strategies and workflows that you can use to get things done. So you just have to figure out what is it that you want to get done, all right, and how you want to do it. And so definitely spend some time learning how to use Amazing Marvin. I know at the beginning they give you like a kind of a walkthrough or onboarding process. Utilize that. Utilize all the documentation there, and also I provide tutoring for Amazing Marvin, and it's really useful, particularly when you kind of gotten yourself familiar with the application, and now you need some help on how to set up a workflow or a strategy for yourself to get things done, to kind of meet some of the challenges that you're facing. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if this is the first time going to visiting my channel, definitely please subscribe. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up right there, and also please raise some questions, leave some comments, because that motivates me to keep doing these videos. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.